Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's go. Kevin here, top 1 financial advisor and best-selling author. We are here to talk about the stock market. We learned a lot about the stock market and the economy today. Some of it was good and some of it was not good. So start off with the good news. Good news is we got new inflation data today. Inflation is down from 6.4% last month down to about 6%. That is good because it's not growing as fast as what we thought. That does show us that increasing interest rates, rising interest rates rather, they're helping, right? They're slowing things down slowly, but they are slowing things down. The bad thing is it still went up 6%, and that leads us to the other bad news today, especially for people who work at Meta. They're laying off another 10,000 employees. This makes 20,000 over the last 3 or 4 months. I think it was back in November. They said they were laying off 11,000. We covered that, and they are adding to that. So what does this mean? What does this mean for the stock market, the economy, and what does it mean for you? Number one, remember that the tech sector, whether it's Microsoft, Amazon, Google, you name them, they only make up 2% of all U.S. workers, okay? It sounds bad, and it is bad, especially for those affected. I don't want to minimize that, but it's not a broad scale. We are definitely going into recession. I'm not saying we're not going. I'm just saying this particular thing is not the biggest red flag for that, but it is something to keep your eye on. If you are an investor, and I've said this, we've been saying this for a while now, we have not been liking banks on this channel for a good minute. Okay, we're talking close to 2 years now that we've been like, I'm not really big on banks at this point. I'm not really big on tech at this point either. That does not mean that you need to go and sell all your tech stocks. You do what you want to do. You do what you feel is best for you. But I'm not excited about it. What I'm not doing is saying, oh, let me go and buy this tech stock. Let me go and buy this bank stock. Yeah. It's not necessarily what I think I would do if I were in those shoes. It's not what I'm doing my money, not what I'm doing my kids' money either. Okay, but this is what we do know. The Fed is going to continue raising interest rates for 2 reasons. Number one, 6% inflation is way too high. I think we can all agree with that. The other thing too is we've seen 2 major banks fail at this point. I guess it depends on what you consider major. Now, 16th for SBV. Signature Bank was a very regional bank, but they also catered to tech companies too. Both of those failed. Those are both fully insured, so everybody's going to get all of their money back if you are a depositor. So they're going to be fine. And I do think that that does help. As we've seen today, the stock market jumped on this news. Obviously, for conflicted reasons, if you ask me. Meta was also up pretty big because they were saving money. They're going from spending $92 billion to about $86 billion. Hooray for them for cutting people and saving money. I'm not a fan of that, but I understand why the stock would jump. But the key here is until we start to see inflation anywhere close to like 3% and 3 to 2%, which is what their target is, they're going to keep raising interest rates. Tech companies are going to continue to see cuts like this. This is not a time for me to be excited to invest in tech. If you're a super long-term investor and you think that Meta is going to be the next, continue to be a big thing in the next 10, 15 years, you can go ahead and make that decision for yourself. But they're also spending billions of dollars in the metaverse, and that has not paid off yet. Okay, and we don't know whether or not it is going to pay off. There are a lot of things that we've learned in the last 3 years of a lot of hyped up technology that hasn't necessarily paid off. We talked about crypto and what that was supposed to be. Hadn't really worked the way we thought it would. Okay, if you want to invest in it, I've done videos about the pros and cons of it and my thoughts about it. But it was supposed to be a hedge against inflation, and it has not been the case. Okay, we've talked a lot about the metaverse and what that was supposed to be. There's a lot of stuff about NFTs that nobody talks about anymore. But when you scroll on Twitter, that was all everybody was into. Everybody was an NFT, non-fungible token expert at that point in time. Where are those now? Now everybody's stuck on AI. Now I think AI is going to be a thing because you have Siri and Alexa and all those things. Hopefully I didn't turn on your device by doing that. But you have all those things. You know that it is there. It's just evolving in a different way. We'll see where it goes, right? We'll see where it goes. But outside of that, tech stocks themselves haven't really done well. I don't expect those things to change. The environment is this. Inflation is still here. Okay? Inflation is still here, and interest rates are still going to rise until the Fed gets to its target. It may be a while. Now, we talked several weeks ago at this point where the Fed says they think they can be there by the very beginning of 2024 and get it to a reasonable level before the end of this year. We'll see. The other thing that people are looking for now is that the Fed is going to raise interest rates by 0.25%. That's called 25 basis points. That's significant because they were being a lot more aggressive in raising it by 50 basis points, 0.5%, and doing that at a very high clip throughout the year. They're seeming to slow down or looking to slow down because they don't want to see more bank failures, and they definitely don't want to see layoffs. They don't enjoy seeing these layoffs, but they do have to recognize that inflation does have to come down. So for me, the playbook, as I've said before, is almost the exact same as what we had last year. Whatever works that is inflation resistant and interest rate resistant, those are going to be some of the best places to invest. If you don't know what those are, we have videos that cover that. But my best thing, which I've said this for forever now, but I think this is not novel advice here, but you definitely want to look at index funds. You definitely want to look at index funds very heavily right now. You should always have index funds. If you ask me, they should be a core part of your portfolio. But the reason why I say that is because I'm looking at the market. We talk about this a lot inside the members only. But there seems to be a little bit of a shift. Okay, there seems to be a little bit of a shift. If you have been watching this channel and liking and subscribing, which is what you should be doing right now, this is your open opportunity to hit that like button and that subscribe button because it's free and it helps me help you. But the thing here is this. It was very clear in 2022 that oil stocks were doing well. Insurance stocks were absolutely doing well. Super easy. Whether you agree with it, don't agree with it, I didn't invest in oil and that's fine, but those were the easiest stocks to shoot for. And 2023, a lot of those oil stocks are not doing what they did last year, even though the environment is relatively the same. Insurance companies are still solid, but not doing the exact same pace as what they did last year. Some of those have gotten caught up in this whole banking sector. I've talked about Principal Financial, which has almost nothing to do with the banks, but because it has the word financial, it has started to fall off with a lot of these other banks. The other bank stocks, even though it's not necessarily in the same exposure as those. Just because it got the word financial in. It happens. The other thing too is because of this, if you start to look at what stocks are doing well, it's just a mix. It's just a straight up mix of stuff. You've got companies like Merck, they're fine. You got a lot of hotel kind of gambling type companies like Las Vegas Sands, like Wynn Resorts. You got I think it's Pace Car, PAC. I'll put it here because I don't want to get it wrong. That company has done well, and you got a few utilities. PG&E has done well, but it's just a mix. United Rentals has done well. John Deere has done well. Those are infrastructure, but that's the only place. That might be the only place where you can say this makes sense for this company to do well, but everything is just a very, very mixed bag. There are no themes that I can pick up on at this point in time. Perhaps later on in the year, those themes will play out. So infrastructure makes sense, but outside of that, it's a grab bag. And because it's a grab bag, you should buy a grab bag. What is a grab bag? Grab bags are index funds because it has all that stuff in it, and those are one of the easiest ways to invest and grow your money. So that's what I would do right now. In most cases, what I do is I'm always investing in index funds. I'm never anti-index funds, but I try and add just a little bit extra in places that I think are going to do well and that the economy and the stock market are pushing forward. That tends to work. But right now, it's just a mix, shuffle deck, throw it out there and see what happens, which is not what I want to do with my money. Okay, so what I would do is just stick with index funds now and wait for something to emerge. It is okay to be patient as an investor. I'm gonna say that again. It is okay to be patient as an investor. A lot of people think that you gotta jump out there and be very aggressive and do something every single day. You absolutely do not need to do that. This is one of those times. Sit back, be patient, and wait for things to continue to play out. It doesn't mean sit on cash and do nothing. Okay, it doesn't mean sit on cash and do nothing. Continue going for your index funds, but if you're looking to be a little more aggressive, I think you should wait. I think you should wait to be a bit more aggressive. Put your money in index funds, let stuff play out, and then when a pattern emerges, when a theme emerges, then you can start to add more on top of that if you decide to. But for me, I ain't doing all the extra. I am sticking with a few of my infrastructure stocks that I've talked about, the stocks that we had talked about back at the end of December and early January. I'm sticking with those, but I'm not doing nothing else. I'm sitting down, staying still until June. That's when I'll come back and make some more strategic decisions based on where the market is going. But right now, don't be shocked if you got some tech stocks that still aren't doing well. You darn sure not, you bet not be shocked if you're buying into the financial sector right now. That could be rough. That could continue to be rough, because as long as we are raising interest rates, people are still going to be concerned about a recession. People are concerned about a recession. That means that they're going to do what, right? They're going to be concerned about people paying back their loans for mortgages, cars, so on and so forth, because people lose their jobs in recessions. So banking sector is very, very shaky and not a place that I would be excited to put my money. That's just me. Okay. All right. That is it for me today. I do have an idea that I want to throw out there. I'm thinking about doing, I don't know if y'all can see, y'all can probably see the edge of my book. I'm thinking about doing some like signed copies for people to like leave comments and stuff. Let me know what y'all think. Like, do you want a signed copy? Do you have my book? Do you not know what the book is about? Y'all let me know. We can talk about that and see, maybe we do like a contest or something like that. So that is it for me today. I will talk to y'all tomorrow. We'll see what happens tomorrow, because I don't know. Okay. But that's it for me today. As always, you want to make sure you join the members only. We do exclusive videos and deep dive breakdowns each and every week. All right, that is it for me. I'll talk to you later. Bye.